So today we will discuss about structure of atom and the chemical bonding. First of all, we need to understand what is atom. Here uh, you can see a picture of an atom. Till to the higher secondary school, you know what is atom, and this atom, that is the smallest part of any element that retains its identity. That is the most smallest part of any element. If we cut the element into infinite numbers, then we will reach to a small unit, that is the smallest unit, that will retain its structure, its identity, that is called atom. An atom is composed of subatomic particles, especially protons, neutrons, and electrons. There are other subatomic particles too, but we will not discuss here. The most important are protons, neutrons, and electrons. And all of us know that in the nucleus, protons and neutrons present in nucleus, and electrons are revolving around the nucleus. So this is the structure of an atom, where we can see two protons, which is positive in charge, two neutrons too, and these neutrons have no charge. These are neutral atom, subatomic particle, neutral. That's why they are called neutrons. And we have electrons that are circulating in an orbit, and these electrons are negative in charge. So this is the atom. So who first used this word? The atom word comes from the Greek atomos. Atomos means everything is made of atoms, that is invisible. We can't see in our naked eye. We have to see in electron microscopic or in other microscopic technique. We can see them. Otherwise, in naked eye, we cannot see atoms. And this is indivisible spheres. Spheres means a circular particle, like a marble. So this is an indivisible spheres, matter of infinite time and number. So an element that we see in our daily activities, the elements that you see, that is made of atoms and molecules. Two atoms combine together to make a molecule. So first of all, we need to know the term atom. And Greek philosopher Democritus and his teacher Leucippus has used this term first time, atomos, in the year of 460 BC, before Christ, so almost 2,500 years ago. They used this term. So this is atom. To learn the atom, how human beings learn that atom consists of nucleus and consists of electrons. What is the development? What is the history behind this? You have to learn the history behind the scene, how we develop this atomic model. First of all, atomic model started from John Dalton's atomic theory. John Dalton suggested that all matter was made of tiny spheres that are able to bounce around the perfect elasticity, and they call them atom. Dalton was the first person who gave a specific definition, which is tiny spheres and able to perform various reactions. And he proposed some postulations. We can see in the picture here atoms of element X. There are 16 atoms. There are 16 atoms of element X, and there are 8 atoms of element Y. So he made some proposal, and the proposal is, first of all, everything is composed of atoms. which are indivisible building blocks. So these are indivisible and invisible too. These are the building blocks of any element. First proposal. Second proposal, all atoms of an element are identical. Like X atoms in the element X are all same here. Look like red marbles. And atoms of Y element are similar, like green marbles. So this is the another theory, another second proposal, that all atoms of an element are identical. Atoms of different elements vary in size and mass, and obviously you can see the atoms of X are smaller in size than atoms of Y. Okay, and obviously the mass will be the also changed, because the green marbles looks like heavier than the red marbles. So atoms of Y element are more heavier than the atoms of X. So this is the third proposal from Dalton's. Fourth proposal, compounds are made of different whole number combinations of atoms. So let's come to the point, compound. And the compound means the combination of two or more atoms, which is integer in number. That means whole number, not the fractionated number, like 1.3 atoms of Y or 1.5 atoms of X. This should be whole number, 1, 2, or 3, or 4, something like that. And that's why we can see a compound here. This compound contains 8 molecules of X2Y. X2Y is a molecule like H2O. H2O means water. Water contains 2 atom of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. We already know in our previous studies. So water is a molecule in which we can find these molecules as water, in which red marbles are the hydrogen and green marble is the oxygen. So 2 atom of hydrogen mixed with 1 atom of oxygen, so that is formed water, and that makes a whole number, that is 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen, something like that. Like methane contains CH4. C means carbon, hydrogen means 4 hydrogens. So these are whole number, not fractionated number. So he made the fifth proposal. A chemical reaction results in the rearrangement of atoms in the reactant and product of the compounds. That means chemical reaction is nothing but the rearrangement of these reactants. That is 16 hydrogen, 8 oxygen rearrange each other to form water. That is his final proposal. So this is Dalton's atomic theory, but he could not propose any structure of atom. How you see, first atomic model was proposed in the year of 1800, and second model comes after 100 years of John Dalton's theory. So in these 100 years, there were no involvement or research in this purpose. So this J.J. Thomson, the person who first did an experiment like cathode ray experiment, and we will not discuss cathode ray experiment here because it will take long time to explain cathode ray experiment. Just what I want to mention here, he was the first person who discovered that atom was not indivisible. Previously claimed that all the scientists claim that atoms was indivisible, but he claimed that atom can be divisible. Atom is made of some subatomic particles. He first proposed that. He was the breakthrough scientist who proposed that atoms can be divisible and it has some subatomic particles. And during his work with cathode ray, cathode means negative anions. So cathode ray experiment, he proposed that he discovered electrons in his experiment. In experiment, we can see the picture only. Here, cathode ray comes, which is negative in charge. That means electrons, which pass from a light. We can see in our light in daily activities. So in light, electrons move from one end to another end, and that's why the gases inside the bulb illuminated and we get lights. In this case, he used those electrons and passed through a very small hole, very small slit. He passed it, and he saw that the electrons passing through the slit, here in the middle of the picture you can see the yellow marker. In this yellow marker you can see electrons coming from the source, and from the source it enters into this slit, and what will happen, it should go straight. That's why the dotted line shows here, but in practically it doesn't go straight. It went to the in creating some angles and hit the zinc sulfide flashlights. So he proposed that this ray that is composed of electrons or negative in charge, this ray has some negative in charge, because in this case he used positive part here and negative part here. So as the light deflected towards the positive end, so this light should be negative in charge, because as it is negative, that's why it attracts the positive charge, and that's why it comes to an angle and hit this side. So he proposed that in his cathode ray experiment, that there is some negative charge particles inside the atom, which he mentioned that electrons, and electrons are very much tiny particles, and he calculated the mass of the electron too, and he found that Millikan oil drop experiment, that is also a renowned experiment, but we don't want to discuss it here. The mass of the electron was found 1800 times less than the hydrogen atom. And you know, hydrogen atom has only one proton and one electron. So almost all the mass was reside inside the nucleus. So this was the first discovery of electron that is negative in charge and which has mass less than 1800 times less than the hydrogen atom. He was the first person who discovered electron, and he puts up model, atomic model, in 1904. He discovered electron in 1897, but he proposed the atomic model in 1904. That is called plum pudding model. Plum pudding model. Here you can see a watermelon. Plum pudding model or watermelon model is same, as we do not have pudding here, but we can see in the watermelon too. Here the red part of the watermelon is called highly positive charge that he proposed, and the seeds of the watermelon seeds are called electrons. These are electrons, that is proposed by J.J. Thomson. So Plum pudding means a dried fruit. In the dried fruit, we can see the seeds are electron, and the whole mass is called positive charge. So these are the pudding mass was protons. And that was the first breakthrough of any model that consists of positive charge and negative charge. First of all, that is the breakthrough. We could understand that there is some positive charge and there is some negative charge in the atomic model. So that's why he was given Nobel Prize in Physics in the year of 1906, and most probably he died in 1907. So after his model, 2 years or 3 years later, he died. So that was the Thomson's atomic model, which is similar as plum pudding model or watermelon model. Here we just shown the watermelon model, in which the red part is positive charge, which is the whole place of the watermelon, and the seeds in the watermelon, which is a small fraction of the total mass, and the seeds are called electrons. Okay, dear students, again I seek your attention. Now we will discuss about Rutherford atomic model. Rutherford atomic model was proposed in the year of 1911, and he was the student of J.J. Thomson. Interestingly, he was the student of J.J. Thomson, and he did an experiment which is commonly known as gold foil experiment. In the gold foil experiment, we can see the picture here. He used three things.
স্যার মানে প্রেজেন্ট আরেকজন করলে তো স্যার দেখতে পাবো না।
বুঝি নাই।
মানে
প্রেজেন্ট
স্ক্রিন ইয়ে হয়ে যাচ্ছে স্যার, প্রেজেন্ট করতেছে যে রুকসানা আক্তার নাকি আপনি, মানে স্ক্রিন তো দেখা যায় না।
বুঝি নাই, স্ক্রিনে কে প্রেজেন্ট করছে?
এই যে রুকসানা আক্তার নাকি?
না না, আমারটাই তো প্রেজেন্ট হচ্ছে।
স্যারটাই দেখা যাচ্ছে।
আমারটাই দেখাবে।
দেখা যাচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ। Rutherford atomic model was first proposed in 1911, who was a student of Thomson, and he proposed that he discovered nucleus. That is the so big discovery. J.J. Thomson discovered electrons, and Rutherford discovered his student, Rutherford, he discovered nucleus by his famous experiment, gold foil experiment. In the gold foil experiment, we can see here the picture. Here is a thin gold foil. Gold foil, you can see the aluminum foil nowadays we use in our cooking or several home appliances. Aluminum foil we buy from the super shops, and we sometimes cover our food particles in our home by aluminum foil. But gold foil is used in research purpose. This gold foil is very thin compared to aluminum foil, and this thin gold foil contains only 1,000 atoms in very thin paper. So this thin gold foil is placed, and from a source a radioactive decay is happening, like lead or uranium, something like that, radioactive particles. And from radioactive particles we can get alpha particles. So this red beam is a beam of alpha particles. And what does it mean, alpha particles? Alpha particles means a helium nucleus. Helium nucleus which contains 2 protons and 2 neutrons. That is, helium nucleus is called alpha particle. And alpha particle radiates from the metal, that is radioactive metal, and these alpha particles hit the gold foil. And in the circumference of the gold foil we set up a flashlight that is made of zinc sulfate. Here we have shown in our picture that is a screen. That screen is made of zinc sulfate. Whenever alpha particle hits this zinc sulfate screen, that will flush out and give you a spot. That here you can see a spot of alpha particle. And that was the set of the experiment. The experiment was set like that. Here we can see the source of alpha particles. Alpha particles comes from uranium or lead or any kind of radioactive metals. And the decay of the radioactive metals created alpha particles. And alpha particles is helium nucleus with 2 protons and 2 neutrons. This helium charged helium particles 2+, hit the gold foil, and then it deflected to the zinc sulfate screen in various ways. It comes straight, but there are a lot of flashlight originated in the zinc sulfate screen. So this was the alpha ray scattering experiment or gold foil experiment. And what was the observation? The observation is here, written in here. First of all, what Rutherford saw in his experiment, here alpha particles comes and pass through the gold foil atoms and hit the zinc sulfate screen. So most of the rays, most of the alpha rays, alpha particles go through the atoms and hit the zinc sulfate screen. You can see the arrow lines here. It hits the zinc sulfate screen. Only few rays, few alpha particles just deflected. And here we can see the arrow line which is reflected. Here, this one. These are reflected by something inside the atom. Only 1 in 1,000 alpha particles, 1 in 1,000 alpha particles comes 180-degree angle. You can see one alpha particle hit the middle of the atom and just come back opposite. It doesn't hit any zinc sulfate screen. It totally 180-degree angle retracted from the path. So this was the observations. And what he made the postulations, his conclusion was, since most of the rays passed through, most of the particles passed through, Rutherford concluded that most of the space inside the atom is empty. So atoms of inside the atom, most of the space is empty. That's why alpha particle goes straight, directly hits the zinc sulfate screen. Second, as few rays are deflected, so repulsion of these alpha particles means there is some positive charge inside the atom. Here, that is positive charge, and alpha particle is also positive in charge. So when positive charge comes into contact with positive charge, it just deflected. And as 1 of 1,000 alpha particles come back 180-degree angle, so this 180-degree angles, it comes back to the originator side. So it means the inside the atom, this positive charge is very heavier, very heavy. That's why alpha particles hit those positive charge and come back again. So this was the his conclusions, and he proposed that most of the charge and mass of the atom resides in the nucleus. So he discovered the term nucleus. In the nucleus, all the positive charge, all the mass is present inside the nucleus, which is small in part compared to the total atom. If you see this is a total atom, the positive charge is very small. But what about in Thomson model? In Thomson model, we see positive charge is the whole place of the watermelon, but his student Rutherford make the correction of his model, and he proposed that the positive charge is very small in size and whole mass is present in the nucleus. And that was the Rutherford atomic model. He proposed three theories. Number one, the nucleus is present at the center of atom, which is mostly positive charge, and mass are concentrated, which is shown in the picture. The whole mass is present in the nucleus, which is small in part, and other parts are void space, free space. Atomic structure is spherical, and he proposed that this structure is round in shape and contains a lot of empty space. And he also proposed that electrons are revolving round the nucleus. Here we can see 3 electrons round the nucleus, and similar as the planet of the sun, planets of the orbit of the sun. That means solar panel, as like solar panel we see earth is moving around the sun. Here earth is the electron and sun is the nucleus. So electron is moving around the nucleus as like solar model. So Rutherford atomic model is also called solar atomic model. This was the Rutherford atomic model, which is compared with the solar panel where Earth or the Saturn or other Jupiters, these are the similar as electron, and the sun is the nucleus. There are some limitations too in Rutherford atomic model. The limitations are, if a charged particle around in a circular orbit, it will decrease the energy. It was first proposed by Maxwell. Glenn Maxwell proposed this theory that if a charged particle around the nucleus, then it will decrease its energy. So ultimately what will happen? This electron will move around here. Ultimately it will fall into the nucleus. So this model doesn't exist. Within fraction of second, this electron comes into contact to the nucleus, because negative charge, this is increase its energy. It will spend some energy against the force of attraction, because positive charge attracting this negative charge, and it will spend some energy, and after circulating once or 2 times, it will move into the positive charge. Second one, if the Rutherford atomic model could not explain the rearrangement of electrons, how electrons are shows their arrangement in the nucleus. It cannot explain, because we have multi-electron systems, not only hydrogen, we have so many electron systems. So he cannot propose these electron systems in the nucleus. And third one, all the elements shows a spectrum. If we heat them, like sodium in the salt test we did in our intermediate, we take the salt and heat in the Bunsen burner, we get some color spectrum. So Rutherford atomic model could not explain the spectrum, origin of line spectrum. So that were the limitations of Rutherford atomic models. So the model is like solar panel, where electrons are like planets, and positive charge means the sun. Electrons are moving around the sun. That is the Rutherford atomic model. And in this model, he discovered the nucleus, and the nucleus have the heavy charge, positive charge, and heavy mass, which is concentrated in the nucleus. Other places are very much empty in nature, which is spherical in shape. These are the postulations of Rutherford atomic models and limitations. This model cannot stabilize because of the spending energy by the electron. That is the main problem. Second problem is it cannot show the rearrangement of the electrons in the atom. And third one, it's unable to explain the line spectrum that is observed by jumping of electrons. So these three problems occurred by the Rutherford atomic model. Anyway, he discovered nucleus. That's why he made a breakthrough science research, and it gives a huge impact in modeling the atom structure.